Today's video is all about understanding chord extensions. So if you've heard of 9th chords, 11th chords, 13th chords, and you have no idea what that means, then today's video is going to clear that up. Enjoy. How's it going? I'm Dave, and my channel is all about helping you create awesome neo-soul, R&B, and modern sounds on your guitar. If you're new here and that sounds like your kind of thing, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you click the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I release a new video. Today's video is all about extensions, so hopefully at the end of this video you should understand what a 9th chord, what an 11th chord, what 13th chord is, and how it's created. Let's start off by understanding how a basic chord is constructed. So let's take the key of C, for example. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Now we can number these notes. The C is the root note, the D is the second, then we've got the third, E, fourth, F, fifth is G, sixth is A, and the seventh is B. Now to create a basic chord in the key of C, let's take a C major, for example. All we're gonna do is take the first note, which is C. We're going to skip the next note and play the next note. So we're playing E after that. So C, E, the root and the third. And then we're going to skip another note and play the fifth note, which is G. So we've got the root, the third, the fifth. So we're playing a note, skipping a note, playing a note, skipping a note, playing a note. And we've got the chord C major with those three notes, C, E, and G. You can do this with any other starting point. So if I was to start on D, for example, we'd have D, skip a note, F, skip a note, A. And that would create a D minor chord. Now the difference between a major and a minor chord is the third. So in a major chord, we've got a major third, and in a minor chord, we've got a minor third. Now you may already know this, but it's really, really essential to understanding further extensions. Now what we can do is we can skip another note. So we've got the first note, skip the second note, play the third note, skip the fourth note, play the fifth note, then we're gonna skip the sixth note and play the seventh note. So we're just playing a note, skipping a note, playing a note, skipping a note, playing a note, skipping a note, and then playing another note, and that is our seventh, because it's the seventh note in the scale away from our root note of our chord. In the key of C, and with a root note of C, we've got the notes C, E, G, and B, and that creates a C major 7 chord. C, E, G, B. Again, we can do this with another chord, so maybe let's try starting on A. If A is the first note, then we're going to skip the second note, play the third note, which is C. Then we're gonna skip the fourth note, that's D. Play the fifth note, which is E. Skip the sixth note, which is F, and then play the seventh note, which is G. So we've got the notes A, C, E, and G, and that creates an A minor 7. Now the difference between an A major 7 and an A minor 7 is that the third is a minor third, and the seventh is a minor 7. And it sounds like this. So I think you might be able to see where we're going here. Let's take this C major 7 chord again, and we're gonna skip the 8th note and play the 9th note. We've got C, skipping the D, playing the E, that's the third. We're skipping the 4th note, which is F, and playing the 5th note, which is G. We're skipping the 6th note, which is A, playing the 7th note, which is B. We're skipping the 8th note, which is C, and then playing the 9th note, which is D. It's like we're basically doing an endless C major scale here. It just keeps on going, okay? So C, E, G, B, and now D is the 9th note if we were to keep the scale going. So that is a C major 9 chord. And a C major 9 sounds like this. Okay? We can just continue this pattern to create an 11th chord. We're going to skip the next note in the scale after D, which is E, and play F, and we get a C major 11 chord. Now, C major 11 chords are very rarely used. They don't sound very nice because that 11th, the F, really clashes with the E, which is the third, and it doesn't sound very good. But in theory, we'd have a C major 11 chord, and then we could continue on, skip the next note, which is G, and play the 13th note, which would be A. And then we'd get a C major 13 chord, which would sound a bit like this. Now, as you can see, C, E, G, B, D, F, A. We're using 7 notes here, but we've only got 4 fingers. So what we usually tend to do is just get rid of the unimportant notes. And by that, I mean notes that are not essential to creating the sound of the chord. So first of all, we can get rid of the 5th. The 5th is present in major and minor chords, so we don't need the 5th there to give us any information about the chord, okay? What we do need is the 3rd and the 7th, because the 3rd and the 7th usually tell us whether it's a major chord or a minor chord or a dominant chord. And then we just add the extension on. So if we're playing a 13th chord, we'd have root, 3rd, 7th, 13th, okay? We can skip the 9th and the 11th. And for example, if we had a C major 11 chord, we could play the root, the 3rd, the 7th, and the 11th. We're skipping the 5th and the 9th there, because they're not essential to the 11th sound. So that's it, it's quite simple really. All we're doing is we're laying out the C major scale and repeating it as long as we need to create 13 notes. And we're just playing the first note, skipping the second note, playing the third note, skipping the fourth note, playing the fifth note, skipping the sixth note, playing the seventh note, skipping the 8th note, playing the 9th note, skipping the 10th note, playing the 11th note, skipping the 12th note, and then playing the 13th note, okay? We don't go any higher than 13th, because if we were to get to the 15th note, we'd just be back on a C again, or the same note that we started on, whether that's D, E, F, G, A, or B. It all works the same way. So hopefully that's cleared up extensions for you. I hope I haven't confused you more. If you really want to understand these chords further, learn some new shapes, then I've got a book called Chord. The first 2 chapters are free, and in those first 2 chapters, I'm going to show you how to write a basic chord progression with basic major and minor chords, first of all, and then I'm going to show you all the cool different extended chords, like what we've talked about today, 9ths, 11ths, and 13ths. All of those shapes that you can add to your progressions to spice them up, make them sound jazzier, and all around just more awesome and more sophisticated. So if that sounds like your kind of thing, head to the description, completely free for you, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, if you've already done that, then you can check this video out here, or here, I can't remember which side I'm supposed to point, but wherever the video pops up, click on that video and you're going to learn even more, and I'll see you there. Have a good one.